Hi, Mr. Packard. I'm Victoria with Paycom. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you doing today?
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you too. I'm doing fine. It's been a busy morning so far.
Oh, I can imagine. The beginning of the week is always such a busy time. Especially for you, I understand you're a very busy man. A friend of mine is actually in the process of opening up a couple businesses, so I kind of understand the tenacity and the dedication required to do all of this, and especially to do it as well as you all have, and have found as much success as you guys have. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, we're extremely happy and thankful to have had this much success. And we are excited to see how much more growth and success the future will bring.
Yeah, and I'm excited for you. I understand it was your father who first opened up the business and decided to have an orthodontics clinic. What made him decide to do that?
Yes, exactly. My dad opened up a clinic in 1987 after 16 years as an orthodontist. After years in the field, he was extremely aware of how many people just couldn't afford the dental care they needed. So that's when he started the business, dedicated to charging reasonable prices and giving quality service. My brother and I joined the business in 1993, and here we are now.
Wow, almost 30 years later and just as dedicated to the original goal. I'm sure your clients are all extremely happy with the experience that they've had here at Apple Orthodontics. Well, Mr. Packard, before I get started, I want to go ahead and hand you my business card. Just in case you have any questions or any concerns after our meeting today, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me help you.
Sounds good, thank you.
You're welcome. I know we previously discussed having about 20 to 30 minutes for our meeting today, and I want to be completely respectful of your time. So is that still the case?
Yes, I've made sure to clear my schedule for the next 30 minutes.
Okay, great. So Mr. Packard, just so I can have an understanding, what does the decision-making and purchasing process for you all look like? Who's involved in that process?
Well, I'm really the one who makes these kind of decisions. If it's something I feel I need someone's input on, or something I'm unsure about, I'll usually ask my brother or the CFO of the company.
Okay, so if the meeting went well today, what would be your next natural step?
For this specific situation, I'd be able to make a decision and go ahead with purchasing and implementation if I like what I hear.
Perfect. I'm sure you want to get started and start alleviating the problems that you guys are facing. Do you mind if I take notes on what we discussed today? This will just allow me to better keep track of everything and be able to better serve you.
Oh, not at all. Go ahead.
All right, well, thank you. About today, I really want to spend the majority of the time hearing from you and hearing about Apple Orthodontics in general. I really want to get a feeling for the current challenges you're facing, focusing on the payroll situation and the frustration surrounding all of that. Then I'll take a few minutes to present the product and the service that we offer at Paycom and really explain to you how we can alleviate your troubles and any of your concerns. At the end of the meeting today, once we address all of your concerns and answer any of your questions, we can get started and go ahead with implementation and get Apple Orthodontics all taken care of. Is there anything else you would like to address?
Not that I can think of right now, but I'll let you know if something comes up. Let's get started.
Okay, let's get to it. So, Mr. Packard, so I can have an understanding about your payroll situation currently, I have a few questions regarding ADP. To start off, tell me about why you guys decided to go with ADP in the first place.
Well, it seemed like a good fit at the time. Apple Orthodontics wasn't as big as it is today, but we were experiencing a lot of growth and needed something to replace the off-the-shelf manual system we were using before. ADP seemed easy, convenient, and cost-effective. It has the features we were really looking for and concerned about at the time. The stuff we weren't getting with the off-the-shelf program, so we decided to go with it.
Okay, so you say it seemed easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Do you still feel that way towards the system?
No, not really. I felt that way the first couple of years, but as we've grown, those qualities seem to have disappeared.
Oh, okay, I see. So the problems really started coming up as you guys grew. It's completely natural for a company to outgrow a product. Although those qualities seem to have disappeared from ADP, the easiness and the cost effectiveness, would you say that those qualities are still very important to you?
Yes, of course.
Of course, makes sense. So now a little bit about Apple Orthodontics. I know you guys currently have 15 locations throughout the Metroplex. How many employees are in those locations?
Altogether, it ends up being about 250 employees, which is where the problem lies. I think we've gotten too big of a company for ADP. We started using ADP a few years ago when we had a far less number of locations and employees. Problems started popping up little by little, and now it seems like there's some kind of issue almost every pay period.
Okay, so when you say that problems started popping up little by little, what exactly do you mean by that? What kind of problems?
Well, it was mainly things like employees not receiving their paychecks or receiving paychecks that were inaccurate. At first, it seemed like an understandable mistake that would happen very seldomly. But like I said, now it seems to be happening every pay period. It just isn't a reliable system.
And I understand reliability is extremely important. What kind of impact do you think those mistakes have had on your employees and your company overall?
My employees obviously aren't happy with getting inaccurate checks, or even worse, not receiving a check at all. I definitely think it has had a negative impact on employee morale. I feel like this payroll situation has started to cause a higher rate of employee turnover than we have seen in the past.
Okay, so if we were able to address that issue for you, the unreliability and the inaccuracy, and pretty much eliminate that employee turnover, that low employee morale, how do you think your employees, first of all, would benefit and your company?
Well, I definitely believe that happy employees lead to a more productive workplace. I enjoy knowing that my employees enjoy working here, and I want to do whatever possible to make sure that that is true. Having happy, productive employees is also the only way Apple Orthodontics will continue to see success. I don't see how we can maintain the standard we have set of good, honest care for our clients if employees are all angry and frustrated.
And of course, that's definitely something that we don't want you to have to deal with. And I see that you're very concerned with providing your employees a good workplace and somewhere where they can be happy to come to. And we definitely want to assist you in making that happen. So would you say that the inaccuracy and unreliability that you're facing right now are your number one concern?
Of course, they are by far my biggest headache and concern.
Okay, so those are challenges we can definitely tackle for you. Besides that, what other problems or concerns do you have with ADP? So with the inaccuracy and the unreliability being number two, what would be your number two concern?
This point kind of goes along with the first point, but I need something that is going to be both cost effective and time effective. With all the mistakes ADP has been making, I've had to sometimes take away time from running the clinic to handle payroll issues.
Okay, so how much time per week or per pay period would you say you spend on fixing those payroll issues?
Per pay period, I probably spend about 4 or 5 hours. That includes dealing with an angry and frustrated employee and attempting to contact ADP's customer service, which is what the majority of the time is spent on. There have been a few times where it takes ADP weeks to get back to me and finally resolve the issue. In my opinion, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that's a long time to be waiting to have a problem fixed. Help me understand what that situation, how that plays out, from having to deal with the angry employee and having to contact ADP and have them fix that problem for you. How do you handle that kind of situation?
Well, like I said, it usually starts off with an employee who is experiencing some kind of problem with their paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't used to come directly to me. When these problems first started happening, HR would handle it. Sometimes the CFO got involved. But now it's become such a problem that I almost always get directly contacted. So I have to talk to the employee and figure out exactly what kind of issue they are having. Then I have to contact ADP, which I am almost never able to do. I realize that their 24/7 line is only for the sales department, which does me absolutely no good. Then I have to wait a few days. Sometimes I get a response. Sometimes I have to contact them again. Meanwhile, I have an increasingly angry employee.
Yeah, that seems like such a hassle. So when you finally do get in contact with that customer service department, are they quick in handling your problem?
No, not at all. Everything takes forever. I just don't want to have to deal with payroll issues. I'd love to be able to focus on more tasks that are important to the success of the company.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, as a CEO, I can definitely understand you wanting to be able to do your job and do it well without having to deal with the tedious payroll issues. And so it seems as of right now, most of the challenges that you're facing are regarding accuracy, reliability, and efficiency. Is that right? Or are there anything else? Is there anything else you would like to have addressed?
I don't think so. It seems like we covered all the major issues.
Okay, well, on the bright side, Mr. Packard, my product can definitely solve all those issues for you. I would love to show you the product and the service that we offer at Paycom and explain how we can do that for you. Would you be okay with me going forward and doing that?
Yes, of course.